Out of the box, Salesforce Calendar will show us only the events. But what about tasks, for example? If I go to this lead, norm, I can see that I already created the task for today. And I would like this task to be shown on the calendar as well. It is very easy to edit. Next to the My Calendars, I select New Calendar. Here I can see that I have lots of options, but now I select Task. I have to populate the field for start, which will be the due date, and I have to populate the field name to display. Apply a filter, and field for end is only optional. So here I select Subject and I click Save. However, I have to add a name to the calendar as well. In this case, the name will be My Tasks. And I click Save. Now I can see that the task is in the calendar. However, it doesn't have a time. It seems like it's the whole day. So I add a new time field to the task so I can populate the time. I go to the activity object and under fields and relationships I create a new date time field. Date time because I want to populate the date and the time as well. The name will be due date time. So I add this field and I make it visible for all the profiles. And I add it to the task layout only, because I don't want it to be available on the event layout. But we are not done yet. We have to go to the global actions and under new task, I click on the layout and add this new field I created and delete the due date. In this way, when I go to the lead and create a new task, I will be able to see this new field, as you can see, the date and the time field as well. So now I create a new task where I populate the date and the time. So I select the time from the scroll down menu and I click Save. So I go to the calendar now, and what I can see, there is no change, because I have to change my tasks first. So the field for start changed to due date time, and now as you can see, the task is in the right place in the calendar. However, if I have many tasks, I don't want to show every one of them on the calendar. So we can add a field now called Is Calendar, and if it's checked, the task will appear in the calendar. If it's not checked, we don't want the text to be in the calendar. So I went to the activity object and creating a new checkbox field called In Calendar. It's by default unchecked, of course. I make this visible for all the profiles for now, and I would like to show this field only on the task layout. I click Save. I go back and I would like to add it to the new task global action, as we did with the due date time. So I add this field as well and click Save. When I go back to the new task, I can see that there is an In Calendar checkbox as well. I create a new task and I will populate the date and time. If I check the In Calendar checkbox, the task will appear in my calendar. If I don't do that, it will not. How? I save this and I go back to the calendar, but now I can see two tasks. Why? Because I have to apply a filter. I go to task and I create a new list view where the filter will be In Calendar set to true, and I would like to see only my tasks. I make this list view available for all the users so they will be able to add this. filter to their calendar as well. So I go to the filter and select in calendar and set it true. The owner remain my tasks. As I can see, there is only one task with in calendar checked to true. So I go to my tasks calendar and edit the calendar, and under apply a filter, I will select the newly created list view, my calendar tasks. I click save, and now I only can see those tasks where the user or where I actually selected in calendar. There are other use cases as well. If I go to the opportunity, we have a field close date. So for example, if I would like to see the opportunity which is closing today in my calendar, I go back to the calendar and I add a new calendar here. Under object, I select the opportunity and click next. Calendar name will be closing opportunities. You remember that I have to select a field for start, which will be the close date. I don't select a field for end, and I don't select an apply a filter, but I select the opportunity name as the field to display in the calendar. So if I go to 25th of May, I can see that opportunity. But I would like to see the opportunity 1 week before its closing. So I create a new field, a formula field, on the opportunity object. I go to formula and I select date. This will be the field which show me the date 7 days before the closing date. So I select close date from the inserting field and -7 and check the syntax. It's working correctly, so I click next. I will make this visible for all the profiles and click next. I save it. I don't want to show this field on any of the layouts because I just need this field for the calendar view. So now I go back to the calendar, I refresh the page. If you like this video, please click a like, please subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell button. So I came back to the calendar, and as I can see, the opportunity is still in the old place. Why? Because I have to modify the closing opportunities calendar to set the field for start to the field which I created earlier. So now, as I changed it to the formula field, I can see that the opportunity is 1 week before the closing date in our calendar. Under other calendars, we can see that we can add public calendars and resources as well. If we go to the setup, under public calendars and resources, we can add these recos as well. Public calendars for departments, resources for conference rooms, for example. So we can show those as well in our calendar. I hope this video will help you to customize the calendar view in Salesforce. And if you have any custom solution, please share this with us in the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you next time.